I used to think success comes from planning, being structured, being in control. Make no mistakes. Be perfect. And then life happened. So let the story begin. I completed an elite master's degree program, being all structured and planned. But my diploma arrived in the mailbox. No graduation, no celebration, no companies looking for talent. Because at the same time, the world outside was collapsing. A global pandemic, economic paralysis, social instability, everything was breaking down, including me. But the hardest part, no one saw. I lost my father just before. I lost my safety net. I was just trying to launch my engineering career. But my internship became a full-time obligation to pay bills, pay the rent, put food on the table, all with 680 euros. Living in Munich, that's not fun, trust me. After work, I had to catch up on lectures and study deep into the night. I used to look at the libraries and thought it was kind of romantic, sitting there at night studying. But trust me, there's nothing romantic when you just sit there and have to study and you have 5 or 6 different exams you have to pass. It's just pressure. As money was not enough, I started working at a nightclub. So I continued with this journey on the weekends. I studied 12 to 14 hours every Thursday to Sunday, go straight from the library to the nightclub parking lot, change my clothes there, and start with my night shift, where chaos and confrontation was part of the job. But luckily, as I said, COVID came, the party piece among all problems, and nightlife shut down. No one was hiring, no income, and no safety after all. That was the boiling point. It broke my core. But the moment of collapse became my turning point. Not because I overcame it quickly, I didn't. But something shifted inside me. All this fighting every day. I stopped seeing this kind of resilience as a strength. I start understanding it as a recovery. In psychology, there's a name for that shift. It's called post-traumatic growth. The idea that meaningful personal growth can come from adversity. People don't just break down. Sometimes they break open. And that insight really stuck with me. It never left me. Because if being broken is such a fundamental human condition, maybe the real measure isn't how strong you are, it's about how fast you rise again. So let's start with my entrepreneurial journey. Because that mindset became real when we started the company Arthur, or Arthur Bus. We began with a vision, a sketch, and 50,000 euros of an investor's loan on a bank account to pay the first 9 people that I hired. So we were 10 at the beginning. No factory, no brand, just belief, and a runway of 2 months. Our goal was simple, but incredibly difficult. Build the most advanced hydrogen bus on the market. How hard can that be? Fully certified, homologated, no retrofit, no compromise, no OEM chassis deal. Do it in 12 months. Why? We knew public transport had to change. It needed more than just electrification. It needed something resilient. A resilient product, heavy duty but green, long distance, perform under pressure, but rise fast again, which means refuel fast. Everyone said it can't be done. Advisors, lawyers, everybody. So, what had to be done? I break it down to you, and trust me, this was absolutely crazy. Close more than 200 suppliers within 3 to 6 months. Develop and build and homologate a vehicle consistent of more than 100,000 different parts and components, while being ignored by the suppliers that I just spoke about, while being laughed at when I visited the first exhibitions. Who is this guy? He's dreaming. Right that day, the first day of starting our business, we had to learn really what business is really about. It's brutal, unforgiving, cruel, and full of moments where you're just losing. But as I said from the beginning, I've already lost everything. But I learned how to get up again. So that was my superpower I gave my team. Lead by example. So we adapted, we kept going, not because the plan was perfect, but because resilience became our instinct. And the result? After 12 months, we built a team of 30 engineers, the best people I know, closed the entire supply chain, built and certified a real fuel cell bus for public transport. And my first passenger, after I picked up the license plates, was the president of Germany, Mr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier. Walter, sorry. And the best part is, we didn't just take it down the hill and took some pictures for marketing. It worked beautifully upside the highest hills. A real hydrogen-powered city bus from scratch in 12 months. Today, exactly 4 years later, we've raised more than 15 million euros in equity, doubled our team, and secured nearly 20 million euros in official EU tenders, outperforming names like Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and Solaris. But we didn't just build a bus. We entered a market no one had cracked yet. Green, heavy transport. And building a new product in a half-formed market is its own kind of madness. You're not just solving technical problems. You're educating the customer, navigating shifting regulations, and surviving cash flow while building trust from zero, because nobody knows you. All of this while running, and this is something personal, and I'm good that I'm at the School of Finance here, running a heavy asset business in Germany. No bank supported us. And just when momentum started building, our government, our policymakers, cut funding for heavy-duty transport. This wasn't just building about a vehicle. It was building through resistance. It was applied resilience every day. So, as a CEO, as a founder, I live between uncertainty and conviction. Every day brings a problem. Every day is negotiating between stress and strategy. As an example, no one calls you, "Hey Philipp, things are going great." They just call you when everything is already on fire. But that rhythm, that constant loop, is what forced me to grow, and it forces me to grow every day. No matter how bad the days are, you get up in the morning, hit the reset button, and start fresh. That's what resilience really is. Not avoiding the fall, but recovering with clarity. I don't know what they teach you here, but in business I was taught to minimize risk, maximize efficiency, and avoid failure. But in reality, that model cracks fast. Startups don't die from the bad ideas. They die from slow reactions, rigid structures, and lack of margin for error. Resilience in business means being able to bend without breaking and bounce back. So I have 3 principles. I hope they can help you on your personal journey. They certainly help me. Resilience is operational independence, the ability to keep moving when everything around you is shifting. So build so you don't break when external factors are changing. Second, resilience is structural clarity. The simpler the system, the faster you can adapt. In other words, if you can understand it, you can fix. If you can fix, you can move. And now my favorite one. Resilience is timing with intent. It's not about reacting fast all the time. It's about being ready before it matters. The best companies don't chase trends. They position themselves for the turn before it comes. So the question isn't about avoiding the collapse. It's how to build companies that know how to come back. Coming to my final message today, it's really simple. I hope all of you have dreams. Chase them. But dreams don't become reality because you believe in them. They become real because you're ready to rebuild them when they fall apart. In a product, in a company, in yourself. The most resilient systems, like the most resilient people, don't avoid the failure. They're shaped by it. They rise through it. They come back stronger. So I leave you with this to just think about it. What kind of future could we build together? In our cities, our companies, in ourselves, if we stopped fearing the fall and started mastering the recovery. Thank you very much.